Det här känns som döden.
Ja, verkligen.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Toadally the Toad and I'm back with another video. And this is a video I didn't think I was going to make. It's part 2 of Generation Zero. Because here's the thing, I made the first video expecting there not to be much more to say. However, me and my friend, we kept playing and managed to finish the game, and I realized I still have things I need to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we?
Woo!
So, first of all, I want to talk about the one word that I think describes the late game of this game. And that word is stagnation. Because, you see, it feels very much like you hit a certain point and everything starts getting very repetitive and you get no sense of progression whatsoever. And I'm gonna do like I did last time and break it into several sort of mini parts. The first part being gear. And with gear, I mean both your weapons and your armor that you pick up.
Oh, yeah.
And the armor sometimes have buffs that apply when you put them on. Not always though. And I noticed that it doesn't matter early game or late game, it doesn't really improve. And it's at least very difficult to craft better armor. I will touch on crafting later, but still. I think it's kind of boring, it's more for cosmetic than anything else, so yeah, it's a meh for me. He got mad. Moving on to the weapons. I think they suffer quite as much as the armor actually. In the beginning, it's kind of fun to experiment because there are a vast variety of weapons. But in the end, it doesn't truly matter, because I use the same two weapons for most of my game, and my friend uses the same two weapons for most of her game. So as long as you find the right ammo, which could be difficult at times, you're good to go. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Boof
not.
you. The weapons are rated from 1 star to 5 star. I could not really tell the difference between a 1 star weapon and a 5 star. Maybe that's just me though. Although to be fair, for the scopes you can tell the difference between a 1 star scope and a 5 star scope. Not that much that I think it sort of matters in the end or vastly improves the gameplay, but still at least you could notice the difference there. So for the weapons, it's a meh for me as well, unfortunately.
Vem shiny sledgehammer.
Wow, oh my god. Wow. Look at you go. Wow.
Hey! Ah!
Now let's talk about the point I touched on before, crafting. I don't know why it's in the game at all, to be honest with you. You can craft armor for sure, but the armor you craft has the same buffs as if you just pick it up from looting, as well as debuffs. So why you would pick that, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something? Maybe you can craft better armor, but to me it was just not engaging enough to spend any time on, as you can see from this lack of footage. I went through several hours of gameplay without even finding one instance of me attempting it. I think that's saying something. Now, let's talk about early gameplay versus late gameplay. There is very little difference between early and late game. To be fair, there are a few differences, but the main one that I could find is the amount of enemies. In the end, there are so many enemies! You basically get swarmed by them. But they just make the fight take way longer, cause it doesn't really increase the difficulty. As long as you move around, you are fine, because most enemies will stand still and just occasionally shoot at you. So even here, I think it's a meh. I mean, there are some new types of enemies that pop up along the way, like the radioactive ones, but I don't think they add that much to the gameplay. It doesn't make you play differently in any way. So still, not much of a difference, not much to say. let's move over to the look of the game, or more specifically, the map of the game. The map has different areas that you can visit, but to be honest, I don't know why it has different areas, because there's no difference to them. They are all the same. There are no different enemies in different areas, there is no different landscapes. There are different bunkers in the different areas, but that seems to be it. So for me, there is no point to them, and although that doesn't really ruin the gameplay per se, it still sort of bothers me. Is all of them there or just some of them? That's not all of them. Vilken jävla smäll!
Kom nu dynamit Harry.
Now I am going to talk about the storyline of the game, and I will talk about the ending, so if you don't want any spoilers, then I suggest you skip, and I will put like a timestamp or a link or something once I know how long the video will be, so you can skip to that part. Nej! Var det okej?
Jag fattar inte varför. I am sure it will be fun and amazing and full of amazing loot.
I'm going to quickly recap what the game is about. It's about a bunch of teenagers that get back from a vacation and everything has been run over by robots, and it's not your job, but you kind of have to find out what's happened, and it's heavily hinted that it's the Russians. But the plot thickens and it turns out it's not actually the Russians at all. There's something else. So that's very vague and not very engaging, because that's the storyline in a nutshell. Very vague, not very engaging. And I don't actually remember any of the minor quests or the side quests. I remember it being sort of like, if you find that truck, there's loot. But the loot in the truck is basically the same loot as everywhere else, so why even bother with it? And the mystery portion of the game, it's not handled very well, because since you don't feel the progression, I think I talked about this in my last video, but you don't get a sense of progression when you move forward. So you don't feel like you're solving a mystery, and you don't feel like you are getting better as a player with leveling up or finding better gear. So overall it's very with the story. I don't remember much of it, even though I just played it, and I don't remember any side quests, as I just said. Let's actually talk about that very last quest though. Vi fick en ny mission.
A wrench in the works.
So we need to go there.
Oh no, really?
Yes, I'm not joking. After having finished the maps and the mini quests and all of that jazz, you get to a bunker. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to remember now. I just watched the gameplay of it and I still can't quite remember what you're supposed to do. But you get in there and you hear this ominous voice.
Jag blir förvånad om
Du
det
är
inte är.
fortfarande här. Det väntade jag mig inte. Borde jag frukta dig eller vara stolt över dig? På sätt och vis var det ju jag som skapade dig.
Oh lord.
Wow. Yeah, that's not very threatening, is it? Okay, that's the main enemy. I see. Oh, well, okay. Maybe this will be good. You enter the bunker, and there are a bunch of enemies. No, there's not a bunch of enemies. Okay then. Well, you get to the main computer thingy. Now there will be the final fight that will top all of the fights. Dörren stängdes bakom oss. Lol.
Di.
Här är
Vad gör de
min
här?
födelseplats. Men han är inte här. Jag är inte här. Är det jag
You're still
nu?
talking.
Skynda dig.
Okay.
Gör du av nu?
Uh-huh.
Skynda dig.
He's done talking. Now there will be a... We're just supposed to leave? Okay. Okay.
I can feel the anticlimax. I can barely
Was that it?
What?
Was that it?
During the end. Wow.
What the f... I think as you can hear from our reactions, we were not very impressed with the end of the game. It felt so anticlimactic. I mean, you have spent the entire game trying to find out who created the robots, where did they come from, and, you know, what's the main robot, how do we kill it, just to find out that it's basically some sick dude who put his conscience into the robots, and now for no particular reason more than he wanted to, is trying to take over the world, maybe? It's not very clear, and it ends so abruptly, so that's really frustrating. Now, as you can imagine, I don't actually recommend this game to anyone now that I've finished it. After the initial, oh my god, this is Sweden, oh my god, this looks pretty nice, oh my god, the fights are kind of fun, it quickly evolved into, will this game ever change? Is something actually going to happen at some point? Will I actually understand what's going on? The answer is no. So, I would not recommend this game, actually, whatsoever, now that I've finished it. I mean, there are still a lot of bugs.
I'm stuck in a corpse.
It's a flying newspaper. And a ghost machine that does not want to attack me.
482 slängar.
Här ligger ett par kikgasgaser. Woo! Whoa!
Haha!
Why though?
You'll never catch me alive.
No.
My evil plan.
Then
the
I shall
bomb
catch
I
you dead.
planted.
If you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed those bugs, give us a like, subscribe and all of that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Gray, are you calling my hair color gray?
Yes, you look like a witcher.
Excuse
Toss a coin
you.
to your witcher. Ball.
Oh, maybe I can hit it with my hammer.
Do it, do it. Oh! Yay! I am stuck in the cliff. Yep, I'm completely stuck in this cliff.
Port complex.
Oh, I'm
I see.
Oh, I see. Kan jag sluta säga exakt vad du säger?
Where did my bike go?
Din back är där. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Okej, det bara...
Jaha.
It's over.
It's over, Anakin.
I have the high ground.
Vi går och lägger oss istället.
Yes.